Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I am showing you some of the tools I use for lino cutting and printing, and the lino prints I have created so far. Last year I reviewed an artful subscription box which had lino cutting tools and inks in it. To review it I had to test it and create some blocks and prints. The last time I did lino cutting was in school, and I ended up cutting myself really badly. I still have the scar on my right hand. Back then, all you could buy was traditional brown or grey lino. The artful box, however, came with SD soft-cut lino blocks. These are much easier to carve. I enjoyed the process of cutting so much that I ended up buying more blocks and also a variety of blocks like these here. These are FlexiCarve blocks by Cool Tools. They are more designed for creating texture sheets to use with precious metal clays. Then we've got grey lino blocks mounted on a block and unmounted, SD soft cut and SD master cut. I like the white master cut blocks. They are soft and easy to cut. The downside is though that you can't really use pencils on them. They do smear. I also have these blue Easy Carve blocks which I haven't used yet. The Speedball Speedy Carve is also very nice and easy to carve. I already had two sets of cutting tools, these from SD and these from Abic. And while they are great beginner tools, I found that changing the blades can be a bit of a pain. I found a really helpful group on Facebook called Lino Cut Friends, and the friendly people in there gave me a lot of useful advice on cutting tools, inks and papers. I ended up buying these expensive file tools from Jackson's Art. These two are very fine and produce very fine lines. And this one is useful to carve away bigger pieces. Recently I also bought these power grip tools. They can be used on wood and lino and are incredibly sharp. I haven't used them much yet, apart from this one. I got these tools from Hand Printed in the UK. The link is in the description. I also have invested in this stropping tool to hone the tools and make sure they stay sharp. I haven't used it yet, but will do in the near future. I have also bought this hole punching tool. As you can see here, you can create very fine circles with it. Great for circles and highlights. The Artful box also came with this roller. I already had this roller of the same size and invested in the smaller roller and the bigger roller. My uncle recently sent me this cute little roller for my birthday. It belonged to my grandfather, who spent a lot of his evenings lino cutting and printing. I will have to try this with my next lino block. The Artful box came with 2 tubes of water-based inks. I quickly learned that they dry fast, which means that the ink also dries quickly on the surface you roll out. I found it tricky to print with water-based inks and wasteful, as a lot of prints didn't work out. This was also due to the paper I have used. I also bought these 3 colors of water-based inks made by Schminke. As you can see, I haven't used these colors yet. I tried aqua ink as an alternative to the water-based ink. This ink is soy oil based and doesn't dry that quickly. It rolls out well. The people in the group recommended Caligo Safe Wash ink, and I think it works best when you print by hand. It stays open on the surface and you can scrape the ink off the rolling surface for reuse later. Another thing I learned quickly when I started printing was that the type of paper matters, especially when hand printing. I ordered different types of paper from Jackson's Art, which I also had to cut to size. And among them was Japanese paper, which performed best, Fabriano Rosa Spina, which still showed some texture, Somerset Smooth and Somerset Satin. I also used Fabriano Unica, which is not so easy to print by hand, and this smooth paper from Daler Rowney. This one works well when you print by hand. Recently I have discovered Japanese Hosho paper, which is great for printing by hand. I have also bought Cercal smooth paper, which I have yet to cut the size and try out. This is the bench hook I use. My husband made this for me. For my first prints I used this burnishing tool by SD. It houses the blades. However, it wasn't really covering much and didn't print very well. The next tools I bought was this cheap Japanese Baron and this wooden spoon. Together they worked better, but I found it pretty exhausting having to apply a lot of pressure. The ideal solution would be a printing press, but for this you need space, which I don't have. In the group I found the website by glass artist Thomas Petit and treated myself to this beautiful Baron. It is reasonably heavy and smooth. It gets the job done a little faster, however I still use my wooden spoon for burnishing smaller areas. For rolling out my inks I used to use my ceramic tiles. I also tried a piece of rather thin glass and I cut myself on that one. And now I am using this perspex sheet. After watching a video on YouTube I created these registration boards and started working with them. It's not a bad method, but can be a little bit fiddly and inaccurate, especially when you try to re-ink and print. It can easily go out of alignment. I discovered a different method which helps secure the paper and makes re-inking the block easier when you need to add a little more ink to get proper coverage. These pins hold the paper in place. You just add the plastic tabs to the paper and then attach the tabs to the pins. I am currently working on these turtle prints. I wasn't happy with how the first ones turned out, so I carved a bit more. I want to paint the background with watercolors like this one. Make sure you keep your prints away from nosy cats. I found this one with a paw print of our Bobby. This makes a very special print. And these are the blocks I'm currently working on. And these prints are currently available on my website. They all cost £30. You can find the links to these prints in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you have a question, please feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to support this channel, you can do so by liking, sharing and subscribing. You can also donate to this channel via PayPal. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Until next time.